Let's take a look at setting up security permissions in K9. Now, K9 is set up as a group security environment, so you don't have to create security levels for individual users. Rather, create a group, assign the user to that group, and they'll inherit those permissions. So it's a lot easier to manage in case of any employee overturn. So the first thing you want to do is make sure you have this system maintenance menu. The only way to get this system maintenance menu is if you belong to an administrator group. So if you're missing this menu and need to continue, please contact your administrator. But basically go into system maintenance, go into user management, and you have a tab over there for user group. Now, when you first set up K9, there's only a default administrator group. These are all created after the fact. And you'll see there's a checkbox over here. Very simply, that's the administrator group I mentioned. You can name it whatever you like, but if it doesn't have that check, users in that group will not see this menu option. So just for an example, the only thing you need is the group. You need to check whether it's an administrator. And this is the most important. This is where you can assign maximum discounts that anybody in this group can levy on a customer. So it's in a retail point of sale environment. You would create a cashier manager over there, and you can assign him a maximum discount that he can go to before he has to escalate the call. That's what this is over here. But once you set up those groups, you're basically going to go into security options, which is system maintenance, user management, and security permissions. And you'll see an option over here to choose a group. This does take a while to open up because it's a very comprehensive list. So I've pre-opened that form over here for the receiving group. Now, what you'll see over here is the hierarchy on this list duplicates what you see in the menu options within K9. So as I break it down, let's say sales and sales transactions, and I have quotations and sales orders, you'll see the same options over here. Now, you can start going from up and narrow down the security as detailed as you want. So let's say you have a receiving department and their job is not to look at customers. You can go ahead and revoke that entire customer's form. Continuing onwards, you can go ahead in the individual documents, let's say in the sales order itself, and you can go ahead and keep removing whatever you don't want them to receive access to, branch and so forth. Additionally, you'll see in the sales order form the tabs that you have in there, and you can start assigning in there as well. And in the details, you also have some additional options that you can go ahead and manipulate. So the idea with this is that you can go down to the column level of every single form and define the permissions that you want them to have. Read, write, revoke, whatever you like. And you can copy those permissions to other users or groups based on whatever hierarchy or options that you have available. And that's a very simple way to manage security. So that's essentially it. Now, which security does K9 look at? That is something in the config form. Okay, so within the system configuration, you have a column over there for security level. Okay, and in this case, you have basic, advanced, and extra security. So there is a trade-off that you need to be aware of when you go too detailed on the security. Like any web application, there is going to be a little bit of a performance hit the more detailed you go. So if that's something that you start seeing that you're having too many performance issues and you want to tweak it and see what it is, you can narrow down the security. Most people do not have any problems with any of this, but we do give you the ability to tweak it as you like, or maybe give extended permissions when you need to. So basically, extra security will go down to the column level, advanced security will go to the form level, and basic security will read only to the menu level. So you can manipulate those however you want. And again, the security is always a work in progress. You can always go back in here and make changes to it. And as those changes are made, they're instantly applied. If you have any questions about this, feel free to talk to your implementer.